I never thought love could feel like a slow-burning candle in a room full of shadows. Beautiful from a distance, but one wrong breath and it flickers out, leaving you in total darkness. My name is Elena. For 5 years, I gave everything to a man I believed was my forever. We weren't just husband and wife. We were partners. I poured my savings, my inheritance from my late father, and every promotion into our shared dreams. We talked about building a home by the hills, traveling the world, maybe starting a family. He called me his anchor. I believed him. Then came the day that should have broken me. I walked into the cafe where we used to meet on quiet afternoons. He was there, but not alone. On his arm was another woman, elegant, smiling, with a little girl clutching her hand. My heart stopped. He looked up, saw me, and for a split second his face went pale. Then he smiled that familiar, charming smile and said, "Elena, this is my wife, and our daughter." 12 months. He had been married to her for 12 whole months while still coming home to me, still taking my money, still whispering that I was the only one who truly understood him. The lies were so smooth, so complete, that I almost admired the performance. Old me would have screamed. Old me would have thrown the ring in his face and demanded answers in front of everyone. But new me simply stood there. I looked at the man who had used my money to build this new family, parading them like prizes. Strangely, I felt nothing. No rage, no tears in that moment, just a quiet, icy calm. Something inside me had already begun to change. The woman I used to be was fading, and someone stronger, colder, wiser was stepping forward. I smiled gently and said, "Congratulations. She looks happy." Then I turned and walked away, leaving him stunned. That night, alone in the apartment I had paid for, the tears finally came. But they weren't tears of weakness. They were tears of clarity. I realized I had been sleeping next to a stranger. Every transfer I made to help with our future, every sacrifice, he had used it to support another woman and raise her child. My money had bought their luxury apartment, her designer clothes, the little girl's private school. The betrayal cut deep. It wasn't just the lies. It was the way he made me feel like the side character in my own life. But I didn't scream. I didn't confront him right away. I simply started watching, listening, planning. His new wife, Sophia, found out about me soon after. Instead of shame, she chose cruelty. One evening at a charity gala I had helped organize with my own contacts, she cornered me in front of influential people. With a sweet, poisonous smile, she said loudly, "Oh, you must be the ex who can't let go. How embarrassing for you." Still hanging around my husband's events, people turned. Whispers spread. Someone laughed. Humiliation burned through me. Old me would have argued or cried, but I stayed silent. I looked her straight in the eyes, nodded politely, and excused myself. Inside, something hardened. Every cruel word. Every time she flaunted the life they built with my money, I stored it away. I kept quiet not because I was weak, but because I was calculating. I hired a discreet investigator. I gathered bank statements. I spoke to old friends who had seen red flags I had ignored. Slowly, the full picture emerged. Forged signatures, secret accounts, months of emotional manipulation designed to keep me funding their fairy tale while he prepared to cut me loose. The nights were the hardest. I lay awake replaying every "I love you," every promise. My heart felt shattered. I questioned my judgment, my worth, my ability to ever trust again. There were moments I wanted to disappear. But then I remembered the little girl. She wasn't at fault, yet she was living the life I had dreamed of, paid for by my sweat and tears. That pain fueled me. I stopped crying and started moving. I documented every transaction. I rebuilt my confidence brick by brick. The shift from heartbreak to strength wasn't loud. It was quiet. It was me choosing every single day not to let their betrayal define my ending. Then came the day everything changed. I received a text from him. Handle the bill at Maison Lux. You owe me this much at least. Attached was a receipt for thousands spent on clothes, jewelry, and gifts for Sophia and the child. He had put it under my name, knowing my credit was still linked to old joint accounts. I arrived at the luxury boutique to find chaos. The manager and security were waiting, treating me like a thief. Sophia stood there with her arms crossed, smirking. "This is what happens when you refuse to move on," she said coldly. Staff surrounded me, voices rising, threatening to call the police. I stood tall, heart pounding, but my voice steady. I refused to beg. I refused to break. Just when the humiliation felt unbearable, the door opened. In walked my old college friend, Marcus, a brilliant lawyer I had quietly reached out to weeks earlier. He stepped forward with calm authority. "Actually," he said, voice clear and commanding, "this woman is the rightful owner of the funds used for these purchases. Elena is the primary investor and victim of long-term financial fraud. I have the evidence right here." Gasps filled the boutique. Sophia's face drained of color. Marcus laid out documents, bank records, transfer histories, even recordings of conversations, where my husband admitted to using my resources while building his secret life. He explained how every luxury item had been bought with money siphoned from me, how the marriage to Sophia had been hidden, how they had both humiliated and tried to discard the woman who had funded their entire lifestyle. Security backed off. The manager apologized profusely. Sophia tried to leave, but Marcus had already alerted the authorities. My husband arrived minutes later, frantic, only to find his carefully constructed world collapsing. In the weeks that followed, justice moved swiftly. The divorce was finalized in my favor. Assets were returned. His once golden reputation crumbled under the weight of the truth. Sophia learned the hard way that the comfortable life she enjoyed had never truly belonged to her, and I stood taller than ever. Today, I sit in the home I rebuilt, not with his lies, but with my own strength. The pain is still there, but it no longer controls me. It taught me something precious. Sometimes the deepest betrayal forces you to meet the strongest version of yourself. If you're carrying the weight of betrayal, remember this: your silence doesn't mean weakness. It can be the calm before the most powerful comeback of your life. Protect your peace. Gather your truth. And when the moment comes, let justice speak louder than any scream ever could. You are not the side character in someone else's story. You are the author of your own, and your next chapter can be beautiful.